Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Very Connected podcast. It's so great to have you all here today. And today we're being joined by Brian, and I should say Dr. Brian Grossman. He has his PhD, and we're going to be talking about a topic that I feel like will hit so many hearts: the missing piece, how to navigate your emotions after weight loss surgery. And what we're going to be talking about, is weight loss changes the body, but it doesn't automatically rewire those emotional patterns, the stress responses, or the habits that are tied to our identity. So, whether you've had bariatric surgery or you're just here, maybe you're on a GLP-1 medication, you're on some type of weight loss path, I feel like this is for you. You're in the right place. And in the session, Brian Dr. Brian is going to be introducing Joyly and the JQ Edge, which are proven tools and also backed by some clinical trials, over 400 trials to help navigate emotions. So you're going to walk away with a simple framework to stop reacting, to help make better decisions, also to help you have that better relationship with your body and feel better about it. So in that, I'm going to introduce Dr. Brian Grossman. You want to say hello to everybody, and I'll tell
Hello,
them a little bit
hello.
about
Thank you
you.
all for joining. I see colleagues from Florida and Georgia are here. That's fantastic. I'm so excited and hope more people hop on or watch the recording. So thanks. And if you have questions, fire them away in the chat and Brenda will let us know. Alabama, let's go. I want to interview Nick Saban if any of you know him personally.
I love that. And two, I always love when our guests, if you're joining us here on the live, let us know where you're from. Type in your state, type in what type of weight loss journey you're on, whether it be having surgery or, like I said, being on a medication or just using whatever tools that you have available. Let us know a little bit about you because we love connecting with you. That's what these support groups are about. So Dr. Brian Grossman is a speaker. I met him at an event, and it's been some time ago. I'm like thinking back, I almost think it was Obesity Help a couple years ago, possibly. Is that right, Brian?
Absolutely, the Obesity Help Conference.
Yes, and we kind of met then, connected, and he's done other events with me. So this is not our first one. Have to show you how to get to his replays so that you can watch those as well. But he's certified in positive intelligence and also a holder of a PhD in clinical psychology. I feel like you're just a beacon of inspiration, practical wisdom, and also in the field of mental health, which can help so many people. I feel like we're focused on our physical bodies during this journey, but there's so much more. Also, Dr. Brian has successfully maintained a weight loss of 187 pounds, guys, for over 7 years. So that is something very impactful for himself. I'm going to be showing you guys here a before and after picture. Is it okay if I go ahead and show that right now? I feel like that
Please
could
jump
be
in because I'm sure people are
helpful.
saying, beyond all that stuff, who is this guy and why is he here? And I know when I went to the Facebook page to get the promotional kit from you, Facebook automatically adds, do you want to add who are you and why are you doing this? And I'm like, well, I think Brenda explained it. But yes, please show that.
Okay, we will do that. I'm going to actually share my screen and click on to that. Make it a little bigger here. Okay, tell us about this picture or pictures.
So if you're looking at it the way I see it, the first question I want you all to know is, can you transform? And what was going on with me is I was working for a seminar company, going from city to city, doing 8-hour training seminars. And the first picture to the left is 2 years post-divorce. Because psychologists with a PhD do not feel depression, anxiety, loneliness, shame, or being upset. We are immune to that. We just explode when we turn to 85 years old. No, that's not true. And I couldn't figure out why I wasn't selling more leadership training and communication seminars with the seminar company and myself. And one of my friends called me and said, at 380 pounds, people aren't buying your motivational strategies. And so I decided to make some changes. Now I'm a one-time winner, one-time loser. The loser part is I had lap band surgery in 2011 and I lost 80 pounds and I kept it off and was doing great. Went back to work for the seminar company, left the seminar company, and I moved 5 hours away from home to work at a maximum security prison. And who knew that you would abandon weight loss and health thinking and benefits and really the emotional part? I just decided that, pasta, bread, and chocolate with a glass of wine were my best friends. And that was a mistake, clearly. And so the second time when I had bariatric surgery, I decided I'm never going back. And I realized studying for the second surgery, and you can take that picture off if you want, Brenda,
Okay.
that everything was emotional. And I thought to myself, wow, how did I not know I was emotionally eating? So friends of mine to this day, I had the surgery in June of 2016, and I'm like, you know, I can't have that dessert, or I choose not to have that. Well, what's the big deal? It's, well, if it's 7 grams of sugar or more, at this point, my arm will start shaking, or I'll feel a tiny bit dizzy, and I'm not going back. And there's so many health choices. But what I know to my core is psychology, social studies, human beings, we've gone about the track wrong. And I heard this at an event called JQ. So JQ is joy intelligence. Joy is the emotion, and Brenda will share some slides in a moment. But just so you can think about this, joy is accessible to you. It's in your DNA and it's underneath every emotion. And with that, we talk about pillars: safety, presence, and joy. When you feel safe in situations, you perform better, you interact better. When you feel your presence, so safety, you feel good about yourself, the situation, you're not in a toxic work environment, you're not in angry or anxiety producing activities all the time. Presence, you show up differently, then you can access joy. And joy allows you a more permanent feeling. For instance, a lot of us say, why not go for happiness? Happiness is easy. So I'd like you all to think about an ice cream cone, your favorite ice cream or your favorite cake. And when you finish that, what happens to happiness? It disappears. So know this: if you memorize anything from this chat with Brenda and myself, your emotions are temporary. The worst emotion you can feel in your mind lasts 6 to 7 minutes and then it goes away. Or we hang on to it. I was one of those people that brought home negative people from the workplace and complained about them at home. And my spouse said, hey, you don't need to take those people home with you because they're not here. And I apply that to emotional eating. And the other fantastic thing for me discovering joy intelligence is this: all of your emotions are not positive or negative, good or bad, right or wrong. They just are. They just are. And you can control your responses to the emotions. And so we provide you an emotional GPS, a way to navigate through those emotions. And I'll stop because I don't want to go on a rant there. But that's why I love Joy Intelligence. Is it's the first program. I mean, I got my PhD back in 1782. Oh no, I'm sorry, 1989. And this is the first program that talks about how do you navigate emotions.
I have to kind of double on that. I feel like for me in my own weight loss journey, that has been one of the biggest things. And I've studied so many different programs on emotions, yours being one of those. I think that whenever you spoke at the Obesity Help Conference, you spoke on emotions too. And I can say for myself, guys, it's one of the best ways to help you with being more non-reactionary of like being able to have a life that's more calm, more peaceful, more joyous, as you mentioned, because when we're paying attention and becoming aware of where we are, really our present moment is wherever your focus is. And our emotions are that GPS to let you know, like, if you're kind of disconnected from that part of yourself, or if you're connected and you're like living more true to yourself. So, in that, would you like for me to pull up your first slide for you?
Yes, please, if you don't mind.
Okay, I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to share my screen. Okay.
So I already mentioned this, but I know visuals are good. So visuals are good. They help. So your emotions are not good or bad, right or wrong, positive or negative. So that's important because we judge ourselves. We have that critic on our shoulder. And here's what can be perceived as positive or negative, right or wrong, good or bad, your interpretation and your reactions. So, if somebody's doing something irritating and you scream at them, or you interrupt in meetings, or you cut your spouse off, or you criticize your kids for feeling a certain way, the reaction is right or wrong, good or bad, positive or negative. Your feelings in and of themselves are not. And that's a powerful revelation because now you can let go of the judgment. You can say, you know what, this feeling is different. So I'd like you all to try something. If you're not driving, one of our pillars of coaching you through this is an immediate reset. It just takes 1 minute. So this will take faster than a minute. It's called the chair of joy. So I'd like you to think in your mind, where's your favorite spot in the world? What's a place where you know you can calm down? Mine is looking at the beach in Laguna Beach, California. So your chair of joy can be anywhere you are, in your office, at home, in the car. So I'd like you to just sit and picture that moment. So we sit, then breathe. I want you to take a deep breath in up to 10. Hold it, breathe out. So it's sit, breathe, think, feel. Sit, breathe, think, feel. Sit. I'm thinking of my favorite spot. Breathe. When you breathe in and hold it just for like 2 or 3 seconds and breathe out, you've done what we call rewiring or resetting your brain. So even in a crisis, if you've watched TV, if any of you are paramedics, police, surgeons, right before you do something, that nanosecond, everybody takes a deep breath in. We center ourselves. So sit, breathe, think, what's the best decision I can make right now? What's the best decision I can make right now? Your brain will give you the answer. Then what's the feeling that comes up? And usually it's an emotion that you can kind of tangibly understand. You go, okay, I'm going to feel this, let it go through your body, and then you can move on. And Brenda, if you don't mind going to the next slide.
Sure. I know you actually had one before that, but for some reason it was showing up the
That's
same. So
okay.
I'm gonna,
This is perfect.
okay.
And so sit, breathe, think, feel, which is different from what we do. We normally don't sit. Sitting centers you. We normally don't breathe. We react. And then we feel, and then we think and go, uh-oh, I reacted to the feeling. So, you know what? If you can't get it right now, Brenda, that's fine. You can take the slide off so we can just see each other in the comments. It's fine. So,
Oh,
what's
actually, Brian,
powerful?
I'm gonna go ahead and share it. Gonna try
Oh,
something
okay.
different here.
No problem. So, I'd like you all to consider this. Just memorize, sit, breathe, think, feel. So, just so you know, this isn't woo woo. This is based on clinical studies, years and years of research. And we know there's 3,000 emotions. They pass through you like that. You're processing them all the time. There's core emotions that's data back and relatable, 160 of them. We've narrowed it down to 80. And if you can go to the next slide, thank you. You are awesome. Perfect, that one. So you've all seen Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You've seen triangles and boxes, and those emotional maps are absolutely decades old. So Cheryl Lynn and her daughter did the research for Joyly, and you notice the circle with the different colors. So we can, I'll give you a link. You can go to our navigation quiz. It takes you less than 3 minutes. You'll know, are you in inactive, awareness, reflection, or expansion? Expansion is you're in that athletic zone, and you can get yourself there at any time. And if you don't mind moving to the next slide, Brenda.
Sure.
So inactive, fight, flight, awareness, investigate, interpret, reflection, introspect, shift, expansion. You're in that flow, and the answers and reactions are coming to you naturally. And it's the best way to respond. So we're going to measure what's your level of safety, presence, and joy. Safety, presence, and joy. So you can move on to the next one.
Okay,
Number
great.
10 will be great, actually. So
10.
joy
Okay.
isn't the same as other emotions. It's underneath everything in that wheel. Perfect. So we're going to measure and help you navigate. And I move my hands like this because if you're ever remember the movie Jaws, sharks don't swim straight at you. They have to move side to side. And that's what we have to do. We have to navigate to breathe and think and feel. So is your emotional experience tension, butterflies, anxiety, anger? We can, many of you have had this experience. Brenda will call me and she'll say, how are you feeling, Brian? I said, I'm fine. She'll say, you sound angry. I'm not angry. We're unaware, right? So we want to get you to awareness, then to reflection, then to expansion, but you can jump through the circle. That's what makes us human. We're not dogs or birds. We don't just react like that. We want to get you to that space where you react in a way that is conducive for the right solution. Now, you can take the slide off for now, Brenda. What I'd like to emphasize is, again, your reactions, your emotions are not right, wrong, positive, negative, good or bad. Your actions could be. We do not want you to be robotic. We want you to access the emotions that fit the moment. Now, we're not saying you're still going to, all the emotions are passing through you right now while I'm talking. Some of you are going, oh, it's woo woo. Some of you are going, why am I here? Well, I know why you're here because you're here with the two best people in the country beside your family. So it's really important that your feelings just pass through you and you can control the response. And you don't have to measure 3,000 of them. There's 80 core ones that we all experience. And you're listening to a guy, you saw the 380-pound picture. I reacted by pretending that I could hide my emotions of anger and rage. And I'll tell you this, when I was with the seminar company, 6 months after my divorce, when I thought I was fine, I had a room of 220 people. And think of this, 5 days. On Monday, I said at the first break, men, be careful, women can be evil. And I didn't notice half the group didn't come back. The third day of the week, my boss showed up and I said the same thing. And she came up to me at the first break and I said, oh, what are you doing here? And she said, you just told half the room they're evil. And I said, no, I didn't. She said, yes. And she pulled out a little digital recorder and said, I have it on recording. You need to go see a therapist, and when they clear you to do seminars, you can come on back. So I actually went to therapy every day for 2 weeks because I wanted to get back on the road. But I realized I was denying my feelings. And we have, if you go to joyly.com and JQ Voices, I can give you that link later on. You'll see a recording. One of our clinicians who's doing clinical trials said it perfectly. Said we've had over 150 years of psychology studies, behavior therapy, PTSD, MRIs, this kind of treatment, that kind of treatment, and we're still today, we have more suicides than ever from every age group. We are fighting each other more. Literally, you go to the market and bump into somebody and they just lose it. We haven't taught how to emotionally navigate. And this is the GPS system. And in a crowd of 200, I want to jump up on stage, take the microphone and say, everybody go home, we're done, and turn around to Cheryl and the clinician and say, this is it. This is our branding. Because everybody can relate to that. How do you navigate through? So I've gone on. Brenda, are there any questions, comments you want to mention?
Um, I'm
And if
looking
any of
through
you have
actually right
questions, you
now.
can put them in the chat. Just, help
Yeah.
Brenda and I. If you have a question, just say question and then put it in there. And here's the deal. Many of you who've had the weight loss surgery, whether it's lap band or bariatric cut, whatever iteration of that, I think unless something went wrong, many of you would agree, and you could put yes in the chat if you agree. The first 2 years are easy. I mean, it's wow, because if you overeat, it's pain, and most of us are pain avoiders. In fact, my surgeon who's in Palm Desert, California, Dr. Bobby, he yelled at me after the lap band because he looked at the chart of my weight and he looked at me and he said, "Are you having 2 shakes a day still?" And I said, "Yeah." And he says, "You got to stop doing that. You got to learn how to eat real food." And I'm like, "Why?" And he says, "Because if you don't, you're going to gain all the weight back when you start." And he was right. And for many reasons, mostly emotionally, I gained all the weight back. And so it's for me, it was crazy making as a PhD. It's like, why am I doing this? And I didn't know. Well, I was depressed and anxious and lonely. And so food was my comfort. And then I've learned to overcome that. It's like I don't have to eat to feed myself emotionally. I do the things that I love. So I'd like you all to think about, what do you love doing? For me, it's movies, it's swimming, it's socializing, it's reading. And in those moments alone, can you occupy yourself without eating? And it's important to, in fact, I will demonstrate this now. It's something you may not have seen. This is a white thermos. I know it's hard to see, and it's got water in it. And I even have sugar-free Gatorade in it. So I get some electrolytes, and I'm going to take a sip now. I know Brenda will agree. Drink, 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 drink. And so that will help fill you. Here's the secret. Emotional mastery, joy intelligence, is accessible when you practice some new habits with the emotions you're experiencing. And it's some mental exercises that I will coach you through. We've got a great, fantastic free offer for you at the end here, but I'm telling you, after the surgery, I have reminders all over my house. I still have old Post-it notes scotch taped. Why am I opening the refrigerator door? Am I eating emotionally or because I'm really hungry? I need those reminders, and there's no shame in that. And, we visit our grandkids all the time. They eat at 4:30. Okay, if I want to have dinner with them, whether I cook it or not, we're eating at 4:30 because they have soccer and volleyball and this and that, and that's great. But you know what? I have my dinner and I don't eat anything after. I will drink as much water or Gatorade or whatever, but it's taken a while. And so when I'm sure, Brenda, you know this one. It's not the newest fad right now, but intermittent fasting. And I'm like, what's intermittent fasting? And it's like, you're going to go 12 hours without eating. And I'm like, no, you are. I'm not. I'm sure my nutritionist and surgeon would disagree with that. However, if I'm done eating and I still eat slow and I take 2 minutes between bites, still, I'll finish dinner 20 minutes after everybody else. But you know what? If it's 5:30 or 6, I don't eat anything after. Even if I go to a networking event, I don't. And that helps keep the weight off. But emotionally, I tell myself, I'm being the best for me. This will keep me happier. I'll be slim. I'll be the best looking speaker on a Zoom or stage. That's what I feed myself. What do you want to feed yourself? And yes, those of you who are thinking, oh, those affirmations, yes, affirmations help. Emotional navigation is best processing because it's a myth that you won't get angry. It's your response that's so important. All right, so I see a comment there. I don't know if that's a question or not. So it's if you've heard this before, let me know. It's simple, but it's not easy. So a friend of mine was listening to a Zoom webinar I did, and he says, you're using all these simple terms. And I said, well, I can give you the psychology of it because I was a neuropsychologist. So all of you hold on. When you feed yourself the right sentences and understand your emotions are not positive or negative, right or wrong, good or bad, and you use the emotional navigation tools, your amygdala in the back will shoot norepinephrine, serotonin, and dopamine through your neurotransmitters, through the medulla oblongata, up until the frontal cortex of your executive functioning. So I could talk like that if you want, but I'll lose 3/4 of the audience. So it's this. You don't have to react to the emotion instantly. Sit, breathe, think, feel will reset you instantly. And no one will complain. And here's the magic: family, friends, business associates, bosses will all notice you are different. You are not reacting. And that's powerful. That's a huge change. People will begin coming to you and asking, what are you doing? What's different? And you're not going to be robotic. It's natural. So I'm going to be quiet and listen. I don't want to monopolize the time here.
So, Brian, when you were talking about this pause, so like let's say you get in a situation, and I know for myself, sometimes there's something that just like fires you up, and you're like, it would be so easy just to like quickly respond. So what you're saying is basically just kind of breathe, take a deep breath, relax for a second, and just pause and just wait, and then what?
Well, it's that was perfect. So it's like this. If you can't sit, if you're in a position where you can't sit, um, stand in one place and center yourself. And then the first step is breathe in up to 10. Hold it. You've now reset. Breathe out. Think, what's my best response right now? What's the feeling that comes up? And then I add to it, ask a question. Hey, Brenda, what did you mean by that? Could you rephrase that? Hey, Mr. or Mrs. Boss, or my spouse, my favorite line to throw out only at home, and I have done it to a very negative boss, is how would you respond if I said that? But to a boss, 99% of the time, I will say, you know, what is your expectation of how you want me to respond? Because that gives me another moment to reset. And I've learned, I used to come home when we had newspapers and have to look for work. So I've learned to hold it, but now I don't suppress the emotion. So you can make an I statement, you can ask an open-ended question, and that helps steer the conversation. And you can Sit, breathe, think, feel. Sit, breathe, think, feel. Just like that. You don't have to take a minute. When you reset your brain and you ask, what's the best response right now? You can even say, hey, you know what? I need to think about that for a moment. Give me 20 seconds, or let me walk away and come back to you. Whatever it is, responding at the moment. And I knew I was at the critical point when I was overweight, and I couldn't even tell you what my wife said. She said something, and I said, you know what? I have to walk outside. And I walked outside for like 5 minutes and I came back in and she said, what was that? And I said, I don't remember what you said, but I was so angry. All I wanted to do was rage at you. And I know it was nothing you did. And she said, well, you're a PhD. Do you think that's a sign you need to see a therapist? And I said, yeah, probably. And so I went to therapy, and then I saw my surgeon again and I started going through the insurance hoops. And it's not that joy intelligence cures emotions. Joy intelligence lets you be you. It's a way to access your best self consistently. And I'm telling you, as sure as I'm breathing, I know to my core, to my heart, to all of my psychology training, when you react calmly in crisis or anger or intense moments, you get more respect, you get more power. Not that you want that, but people relate to you more. And you will have less of those tension filled interactions because people will come up to you and say, and even family, hey, can we talk? This is bothering me. Da 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 da. Great question, Rhonda. Is it possible to be overjoyed? I'm going to say no in this way. Joy is the feeling of not euphoria or manic, unrealistic expectations. Joy is the feeling of I'm at my best. And if you can be in that zone just to learn to get to it 10% of the time, then all of a sudden 50% of the time, you can be in joy 100% of the time. Now remember, 3,000 emotions are coursing through your brain all at once anyway. So you're going to float in and out of that. So that's why I believe you can't be in joy too much, because reality hits. And what happens is when you are in joy most of the time, you're responding really well. Think of any president that you really respected. And I don't want to mention any because I don't want to go there, but there are presidents who respond well to questions where I would say, what planet are you on? And, they pause. Clinton was great at that. Obama was great at that. Trump is good at that sometimes, but sometimes you can see he flies off the handle and just says whatever he wants. Again, I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying for us who are not at that level of control and power, you can say the wrong thing at the wrong time in the wrong moment, and we're not in kindergarten anymore. I can't say, oh, Brenda, I take it back. The hurtful stuff came out. So if you can be in joy most of the time, you won't have those moments because along with the emotional navigation becomes self-control. I still say, honey, I'm really angry at that, or that really bothered me. Can we talk about it? Which is different from raging, which is different from overeating, which is different from what my normal emotional response will be. And now, and this is what I want for all of you, you know what's the best about being a bariatric patient is I'm now, where are we, 2016, 2026, so 10 years out. If I eat the wrong thing, I get sick immediately. If I have something with too much sugar, I'm like, I feel awful for hours and I don't want to go there. So if somebody can't tell me what's in the food, I'll skip it. I know how to make Cool Whip with sugar-free chocolate or real dark chocolate with low sugar and have a chocolate mousse, you know. So the difference is, and this is powerful. I'm so passionate about this. I want for all of you to, one, experience what joy intelligence can do. But more important than that, whether you do this or not with me, this is the most important part. And Brenda, if you disagree, let me know. The most important part of your bariatric journey is no matter what emotion it is, your go-to isn't food anymore. That is so necessary because there's so much power in that. You are under the most self-control by not pushing the feelings down and covering them up with food. Other people, I've done substance abuse treatment for years, and we're not going to go there. They never learned how to navigate emotions, or, instead of eating, I wish they would do that. They use more powerful drugs that are harmful. Okay, sorry, I got really passionate, and let me stop. Let you ask questions, Brenda.
I have a question. I know there's one in the comment section. So my question is what is the overall goal that you're trying to achieve with your system, with Joyly, and with the stuff that you're introducing? Is it to have more joy in your life? I'm thinking, number one. Number two, is it, I don't know if you've heard of the term 0 point, which that means you're just at a point of kind of like in between the emotions, just a state of connectedness, but not really bouncing between the emotions. You're just kind of present, breathing, aware, but you're not really up and down. So is it also, you were mentioning about using your emotions to help navigate so you're not turning to food. I'm trying to figure out what the overall goal is and what this helps people accomplish.
Great question. Self-control. There's nothing more inspiring to yourself, powerful, confidence boosting, knowing that you're experiencing every emotion as a human and you're not reacting to outside forces. You're reacting as your best self. Again, it's not that you're going to be robotic, but if you can get to 90% of the time or more that you don't snap, that you don't say the wrong hurtful thing, yet you're still expressing your emotions, that's the best life ever. That's great relationships, better communication, better profits in business, better entrepreneurship, better relationships with your kids and teaching your kids. I remember breaking up with the best girl in the world, and I knew I wanted to marry her, but I was in eighth grade. So it's a little hard to do that. However, she broke up with me to go out with the eighth grade athlete. What was that about? Parents' normal reaction is you'll get over it and there's other people out there. And that doesn't teach me how to navigate misery, depression, anxiety, low self-esteem. And guess who sits next to me in math class every day? That girl. So there's no escape. Emotional navigation, mastering your ability to respond so I can come home and say, hey, mom, dad, can you write a note to the teacher saying I want to change seats? Here's why. This is the emotion that comes up. Now, as an eighth grader, I wouldn't phrase it like that, but getting your kids to process and understand emotions, and even yourself. And I will say, look, I'm a PhD and I didn't get it. I have proof 385 pounds doesn't happen overnight. And the cool thing was I can afford to keep buying new clothes. And I'm sure you'll all agree. Just put yes in the chat if you agree. I mean, from here to here, George Clooney or Henry Winkler. Come on. But now my body matches what I want to look like. And exercise isn't a drama or a dread or whatever. So joy, intelligence, the most powerful thing it does is two things: get you to be in control of your reactions and get you to experience the emotions you choose in every situation, which is more joy. It's just that joy is in your DNA. It's in the back of your head. It's in your dinosaur brain. Happiness is temporary. If it's not clinical depression, depression is temporary. Anxiety is temporary. Anger is temporary. It just depends on what we want to carry with us. I'm sorry, did that answer your question?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. So it's basically about feeling like you have more control over your situation. And it looks like Rhonda's asked a question. She says, how do you deal with the negative responses from people who say, why are you so happy?
Oh, thank you for asking that. This is huge. Rhonda, I want you to say it proudly and excitedly. You say, I am not happy all the time. I'm joyful all the time. Happiness is temporary. And if you want to know how I'm doing it, let me share with you. And then you have them contact me, or I work with you and they contact you, and we help everybody access joy. But I'm serious. I want you to say, I'm not happy because that's temporary. I'm joyful because I enjoy everything I'm doing and who I interact with. Be proud and excited of that because, that's weird. The first thought that came to my brain, and notice I suppressed it, is like, what kind of person would ask you, why are you so happy? It's like, why aren't they enjoying you? That's so funny.
It's so
But people are
strange, Rhonda,
people.
that you said it's strange that she says that. I've actually had people say the same thing to me. It's like, how can you be happy all the time? And I think part of it is it's not so much like you said, it's not so much that you're happy all the time. It's that your how you navigate and respond becomes more critical or more you're more aware of it. And so instead of focusing, like maybe you do have something negative come up, but instead of focusing on that and like talking about it and repeating it and constantly going back there, you think of something new in your brain to focus on and navigate towards. So, really and truly, guys, pain and suffering is, I feel like it is optional. I mean, obviously, there's going to be things in this human life that create a challenge and experience for new growth, but it's how you look at it and how you perceive it and how you choose. You make choices each moment on where you're going to focus for your next moment going forward.
Yeah. And you know what, Brenda, you summarized that so well. Here's the most, I don't want to say most important, but this is a lot of new information. We are not taught this. I was not taught this. But now that I have the tool, I am more than passionate about this. This is one of the most important tools parents can use for themselves, business leaders. We still have dinosaur leaders who think of nothing of yelling and screaming at their team in front of other people or giving negative feedback to one person in the group or whatever it is. And, we have spouses. This is not bad things don't happen. This is you being in control of your reaction. And when you do that, there's no doubt that you experience joy. And you've all heard this. When you're doing what you love, work doesn't seem difficult. And, there's not a moment if you're a parent and your kid is 3 or birth to 20, you're not obsessing and worrying and, what are they doing and da 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 da, this and that, and social media and all of that. But when you can help them master their emotions, they're going to be the most influential, powerful, charismatic, not extroverted. They could be introverted. They could be whatever. I mean, my grandson is a bassoon player and chess master, and don't even talk to me about Dungeons and Dragons. But
Mhm.
all his friends gravitate towards him because he's learning this. And so that's the key is we can it's not that you won't feel angry. And I still give myself permission. I wonder if you do this, Brenda. Sometimes I got to step outside and I love having a mini temper tantrum. I'll yell and scream and I'll get it out. And then I sit, breathe, think, feel. And this is the best response. And sometimes my brain says the best response right now is excuse yourself, go outside and scream and come back in and give the appropriate response. And that's okay. Sit, breathe, think, feel. Stop reacting.
So Brian, tell me what a process is. Somebody comes to you. First of all, what do your coach basically as along with being having your degree in psychology, what do people typically come to you for? Number one. And secondly, what kind of process would you lead them through to help them to get to their goal.
So I'm going to put in the chat if this is the okay time to do that, Brenda.
Sure. Yeah.
People can go to this link. At most, it'll take you 5 minutes or less to take this quiz. I believe the way it's set up right now, you're going to take the quiz and then it's going to say put in your name and email. Please do that. I'm not going to spam you. But you'll also make an appointment with me. I can put that in the chat also. Um, what'll happen is if it asks you to pay for it, there should be a special code, and you just put in that keyword Dr. Brian and you'll get it free. So I'm offering you all a free consultation, a coaching session. And then after that, if you want to jump in, I'm offering you what's called unlimited coaching. If you do the work between sessions, we'll talk for 15 minutes at a time because I know you're all busy, and we'll just guide you through whatever it is using the tools. And the only requirement is do the work in between sessions. And that's all on the website, and I'll be able to tell if you've done the work. But we'll work out an agreement that works for you. And so the goal is, if people now are coming to me for three things. One is, how do they get joy intelligence? It really is the next step after emotional intelligence. Two, I don't want to say better, but I'll say different parenting. How do they navigate the thousands of emotions hourly and daily with their kids? And some of us are living with our grandparents. My specialty is helping you get your kids to navigate the emotions without you stealing them. And what I mean by that is, if you're more upset about their performance than they are, they love that. And please avoid using logic with your kids, because they can out-logic you. And then so I help parents get their kids to feel the emotions and take less work off you, have them do more of the work and you less of the work. And then I'm doing business training to help business owners sell more, help healthcare people lower their stress. Because here's the other mistake we've made in psychology. Oh, let's do stress reduction. We can lower your stress. Nope. If you're a paramedic, if you're a nurse, if you're in healthcare, I can't lower your stress. I can change your reaction to it. Working in high crisis situations in a hospital, it's always tense. I can change your reaction to it. So when you shift, everything changes. When you make an internal change, everybody notices. And then I noticed real quick, I don't want to cut you off, Brenda. Somebody asked, how do you better navigate emotions with a thyroid disorder? One, I always say, get with a great, I forgot the name of what they're called, but thyroid doctor. My wife has been on thyroid medication forever. She's had bariatric surgery. That's how we met, not in the hospital, but after. And then you navigate your emotions no matter what's going on medically to handle whatever's going on. And the simplest way I can say that is, we'll help you process what happens with whatever you're dealing with the thyroid. And if we have a consultation, I can help you navigate through that. And if I can't, I'll get you on the phone with our CEO, Cheryl. And if we can't help you with that, we'll point you in the right direction. But I absolutely believe it's dealing with those emotions. So, and full self-disclosure, I grew up with a neuromuscular disorder as a kid. I couldn't play athletics with everybody else. I was different, so I gravitated toward being extroverted, joined the drama club, joined community events, any way I could fit in, because I couldn't fit in as the athlete. And then, thank goodness, it left my body when I was 18. But I know what it's like to have a medical component and have those feelings. So I'll leave it at there. Leave it there.
I want to add to that too, if it's okay,
Absolutely,
Dr.
please.
Grossman. I want to say Tom's question on how to better navigate emotions with thyroid disorder. I want to also say, your thyroid is right here in your throat area. And think about that area symbolically wise and from an emotional standpoint. That's your point of communication, your thyroid. So it fits right into what we're talking about. If you're not able to communicate well and you're not able to voice your emotions, voice your opinion, that type of thing, likely it's related to your thyroid disorder too. I mean, I feel like emotions fit right in there with your physical conditions, your the way your body reacts to things. So it may go hand in hand.
I couldn't agree more. And, you know, it's just so important to get that handled with a doctor you trust and figuring out all of that stuff. My wife has been very lucky. She's had a great doctor over the years. And, I'll tell you something. We went away for the weekend out of Henderson. We went back to California and we thought it was a 2-day trip. So we brought 2 days of clothes and medication with us. We had to stay 5 days. Oops. And you can't get your medication instantly at the pharmacy when you're out of state and blah, blah, blah. So I told my wife, on the drive home, I said, if I breathe too loudly, please don't snap. That's you missing your thyroid medication. And if you do something that irritates me, that's me missing my medication. And you know what? We love each other, and driving on the back roads through the Mojave Preserve back to Henderson is not a place we want to get out of the car and walk around. So we made it back and we're both regulated now. Stuff happens. So give yourself permission. Your reactions, your reactions. All I want you, if after this call, I'd love it if you all reach out to me. I put my email in the chat. The navigation quiz is free. I'd love to have a consult with you. Just know if you only do sit, breathe, think, feel 100 times a day, you'll notice how you're reacting differently. You just will. And it just takes practice. Now, of course, we have hundreds of other tools to share with you because if it was that simple, everybody'd be doing it. So anyway, I'm really passionate about this. It's been such a eye-opener, revelation, and way to make emotions tangible for people. Because if anyone, what do you mean emotional regulation? I said, well, you ever snap in line or yell at somebody at work in front of other people? I said, yeah. I said, this is a way to not do that if you want. So, and I
If you
used to
want.
say, why don't you want this? What's wrong with you? Oh, sorry. I forgot I'm perfect. Nothing bothers me. I was never 382 pounds. What's that about?
Oh, it's all about being human, right?
It sure is. Although I am looking forward if in my lifetime we could get to the singularity. I want my consciousness in a robot to live for. But, we're not there yet. Right now, I'm happy with being human. And if any of you are scared of AI, know this, AI can't feel. And it only thinks with the inputs you give it. So relax.
Yeah, especially since times are getting more and more reliant on all of that too.
Yes.
We have
And note, can
some
I give
nice
them
little
the secret,
cases.
Brenda?
Yes.
ProCare, Brenda, and I are working on a formula that can be transferred right through Zoom or in person that are nanites and go right into your body. So you get your vitamins that way, you get your emotional regulate. No, I'm just joking. If only.
You never
Yeah.
know. There's always a
We're
future,
there's
future
always
medicine,
there.
right?
That's it. But right now we're
Well,
stuck with being human.
and I'm gonna actually, if it's okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share a little bit about ProCare. You guys, we got some brand new stuff
Please,
coming out,
please stay
and I am
online. This is
like,
really important.
oh my
And
gosh,
I
super
I'm a
excited.
ProCare customer too.
Yes, and yes, I'm gonna share too. Dr. Brian has his own little code that you can use to share. It's Dr. Brian 77 for 10% off on your orders. So be sure, check that out. Write that down, Dr. Brian, not case sensitive, 77 for 10% off your order. I just put that in the chat feature. I'll put it on Facebook here shortly. I just have to do it when I'm not share screening. So the ProCare website is procarenow.com. At the top of ProCare website, when you get there, there's a little purple button. It used to be blue, it's purple now. If you're interested in a free sample, if you've never tried ProCare, go there. Check out a free sample. We'll send you an assortment of some multivitamins, a multi 45 with iron of our capsule, our chewable, and our caplet, and then also a calcium sample. I also want to say here on this main page, right now we're doing a big promotion with our very newest product. It's hair, skin, and nails. Really, 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 really excited about this. We've been working with some clinical staff, dietitians on this formulation, and it's pretty comparable to, I'm just going to say, some of the very top products out there, if not the top product on hair, skin, and nails. So it's not just a bunch of vitamins. It does have a few vitamins in it, but it helps with the structural structure of the hair itself. It has some uh, amino acids. It has keratin. It has things that build the hair follicle or hair strand itself. So build it up, and we're really excited about it, guys. So that you get 30% off your first subscription right now. Products, you can look at our multivitamins. We are known for being the lowest cost out there. If you find something cheaper, guys, you can call us or use our little feature here on the website to chat with us and let us know. We will price match any other products. Also, we do carry, we were the first company also to create the 1-a-day multivitamin. So got that on there. Under our resources, very connected. You can always check that out, guys. We have the latest and greatest of all of our events. Our event today is featured on there right now. So if you want to go back, listen to the replay, you just click register. The link that you received from this event, you can click on that and listen again. A lot of times it's better to go back and listen to something again because you missed something for the first time. We also do put all of our replays on our YouTube channel. So you can click on that, and we have over 500 different videos on there now. Join our Facebook group and our Facebook community. Um, be a part of that, and I help monitor that. So you're always on there in case you have questions or you want to chat with other people who are experiencing the things that you're going through. And then all of our replays not only go on YouTube, but our podcast, which most podcast stations like Spotify, iHeartRadio, all of those. So that's a lot of information, guys. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'll share that code also on Facebook. So closing thoughts. Tell us your closing thoughts. And specifically, Dr. Brian, I am speaking to you.
Oh, I thought you wanted people to comment. I'm sorry.
Actually, people out there,
Closing
please feel
thoughts.
free too.
Your emotions are temporary. Your emotions are not positive or negative, right or wrong, or good or bad. You can access joy any time, and joy can last throughout the day. Happiness is temporary, and you can master the art of being in control of your reactions in critical moments. And that brings clarity of thought under pressure. It brings better communication, better relationships, better business results, better profits every time. And when you do all of that consistently, yes, we all make mistakes. But if you're on top of this 90 to 95% of the time, your life changes forever. And I will say I'm living proof of that, because before all of this, I could tie my shirt and it was like this and I couldn't breathe. And now I can fit a whole hand underneath every dress shirt, and I want to lose 2 more inches. Inch by inch, with emotional regulation and joy intelligence, life's a cinch. So that's my closing thoughts. Sit, breathe, think, feel. Please take the navigation quiz or email me. Let's connect and see if I can help you through whatever's going on. Brenda, I can't thank you enough. And I'm going to do this just so people can see. I've got all my hair still because of ProCare products. So, because one of the side effects of having that fun surgery is hair loss, and not I, said he. So there you go. So remember,
Um,
joy is permanent. You can access it. Sit, breathe, think, feel. All the rest of your emotions are temporary and pass through you in seconds.
Thank you
Brenda,
for
you
those.
share a closing thought.
I just want to say thank you for sharing all of that. And it does help you remember no matter what you're going through, whether you're having moments of joy right now, which is amazing if you're able to do that and you're living life to its fullest right now in this very moment. But if you do are experiencing, those ups and downs like a lot of people do, just remember, you know what? This moment will pass, the next one will come, and remember that you don't have to stay there. So there's always a choice in every moment of breathing, experiencing something new. So thank you, Dr. Brian, and we appreciate all of you for being here and thank you for sharing your words of wisdom. So guys, go out and
Thank you
experience
for what
life
you're
today.
doing. And share this with everyone you know. Brenda and I
Yeah.
will appreciate that. It's not just about me. ProCare is great. Brenda is marvelous. And all of you, remember, this is the last thought. Have a joyful day.
Thank you. That's a great note to end on. Bye, everybody.